We all need something sometime. Sometimes we may need a sweater to keep warm, but other people need a hug or some love. And it's not just the people need outside kind of thing.
Was Mr. Rogers the gentle person we all admired? Or is there more to his story? He made many generations feel seen, heard, and safe. But behind his soft-spoken voice, even Fred Rogers had a side that the cameras never showed. Before his death, his widow revealed a painful truth.
You can use my towel.
Yeah.
And at that time in history, white people didn't want African Americans in their swimming pool.
What she shared was deeply personal and might change how you remember America's favorite neighbor. The most powerful children's show in television history didn't use flashy graphics or loud characters. It relied on the strength of one man speaking directly to your heart. Let's explore the gentle revolution Fred started with his little show that made a huge difference. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the show that redefined childhood. Fred Rogers did not set out to be a TV star. He wanted to connect with children and help them understand their emotions, questions, and growth. He did this calmly with a steady voice and caring eyes, in a welcoming neighborhood that made a difference. When Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood premiered on PBS in 1968, it was not flashy like other shows. It felt calm and soothing. Fred would enter his set, hang up his coat, put on his iconic cardigan, change into sneakers, and sing "Won't You Be My Neighbor?" Watching the show felt like visiting a trusted friend. Fred designed this show as an emotional classroom. While other programs focused on numbers and letters, Fred helped kids deal with feelings like fear, anger, sadness, and joy by giving them words to express what they felt inside. The show addressed essential topics like divorce, death, race, and disability without speaking down to children. It was slow-paced but significant. The show also featured the imaginative neighborhood of make-believe, where puppets like King Friday the 13th, Daniel Tiger, and Lady Elaine Fairchild had acted out stories that mirrored real-life events. Fred provided the voices for several characters, sharing a bit of himself through them. From 1968 to 2001, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood had 895 episodes over 31 seasons. This is remarkable for a show with such a specific mission. Its lasting impact came from its heart, not its glamour. Fred understood that kids needed quiet, honesty, and someone who respected their feelings. Each episode became a comforting moment, free from laugh tracks, loud noises, and ads. It was just Fred, talking directly to the camera like he was speaking to you. For many viewers, especially those in challenging situations, those 30 minutes felt like the safest part of the day. Although the show had a gentle tone, it featured various guests, artists, musicians, scientists, and animals, who joined Fred to talk or share. Guests like Yo-Yo Ma showed how music conveys feelings. Julia Child brought joy from cooking. LeVar Burton promoted reading. David Copperfield added some magic. Tony Bennett shared beautiful songs. And Coco the gorilla communicated with Fred using sign language, creating a memorable connection. Fred treated every guest with respect, showing that everyone mattered. The television industry took notice. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood earned many awards, including 4 Daytime Emmy Awards for excellence in children's programming and 55 Emmy nominations. It also received the Cine Golden Eagle Award for outstanding educational content, such as the episode Let's Talk About Going to the Doctor. In 1997, Fred received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Daytime Emmys, where he asked the audience for 10 seconds of silence to think about those who helped them grow. The room went quiet. For Fred, these accomplishments were not the primary goal. His real reward was seeing children feel loved and understood. Even after the show ended in 2001, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood continued to touch lives. Many new kids are discovering Fred's calm voice and kind wisdom thanks to streaming services and YouTube. Shows like Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, made by Fred Rogers Productions, continue his mission with new stories and characters that share his values of emotional honesty and kindness. Fred once said, "The greatest gift you ever give is your honest self." This is precisely what he shared for over 30 years. To truly understand Fred Rogers, you must also learn about the woman who supported him throughout his journey. Their story is quite surprising. Who was Joanne Rogers? Before she became known as Mrs. Fred Rogers, Joanne Bird was already making her mark in the world. Joanne was born in 1928 in Jacksonville, Florida, in a home that valued curiosity, music, and good conversation. Her parents were not wealthy, but they were hardworking and caring. Her father was a traveling salesman, and her mother managed the home with love and care. From a young age, Joanne learned the importance of speaking up and listening well. Joanne found her passion in music early on. By grade school, she was already recognized as a talented piano player. She played because it brought her joy, exploring classical, jazz, and folk music. When she attended Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida, it became clear she was not just interested in music but committed to it. At Rollins, Joanne majored in music performance and quickly became known for her skill and emotional depth in playing. Her professors and classmates noticed her talent. Whether playing alone or with others, she had a way of connecting through her music. Joanne did not seek fame. She valued friendships, honest talks, and a strong community. Her laughter could brighten a room, and she also knew how to ask meaningful questions. After college, she continued her studies at Florida State University and then moved to Pittsburgh to study at Carnegie Tech, now Carnegie Mellon. This part of her life was about growing as a musician in person. Joanne also shared her love of music by teaching. In the 1950s, she taught it at Chatham College's Preparatory School of Music, and in the early 1970s, she taught at Carlow College. In addition to teaching, she was a skilled concert pianist. She performed with her friend Janine Morrison and recorded 2 albums, Duo Piano Favorites and a Virtuoso Duo Piano Showcase. Joanne did not follow traditional roles. She wanted a life filled with music, independence, and self-expression. Whether at the piano or having coffee with a friend, she brought warmth, humor, and calmness. Later in life, Joanne received recognition for her contributions to the arts. In 2010, Duquesne University awarded her an honorary degree for her long commitment to music and education. It felt meant to be when she finally met someone who shared her passion and depth of character. The love story behind the legend. It's easy to look at a long marriage and only see the surface. Photos in matching outfits, a shared home, and public smiles. But Fred and Joanne Rogers had a remarkable love story beneath the surface. Their love was quiet. It began in the corners of a college music hall in Florida. Fred and Joanne met at Rollins College in the late 1940s. Both were music majors dedicated to their craft and about to become very important to each other. Joanne was not easily impressed. Having grown up with music, she valued genuine connections. What drew her to Fred was not his charm, but how he listened to people and treated them with a rare gentleness. Their bond grew in practice rooms and at shared recitals. They did not rely on grand gestures, but built a strong partnership based on shared rhythm, intellectual connection, and emotional safety. They understood each other's musical language and listened to each other in a way few others could. After college, life was not easy for their relationship. Fred went to New York to work for NBC, while Joanne stayed in Florida. Long-distance relationships were challenging back then, with no texts or video calls, just letters. Despite the distance, they kept writing to each other, sharing care, longing, and trust. Then came the letter with Fred's proposal. Joanne was so happy she rushed to a phone booth to say yes, almost losing the letter. She kept that letter safe because it marked the start of their strong commitment. They married in 1952 and enjoyed over 50 years together. Their marriage was not perfect. It was full of life, laughter, and reality. Music was a core part of their connection. They often played piano duets, finding joy in their harmony and even their mistakes. They had inside jokes and a special way of understanding each other. Joanne was his safe haven when Fred faced pressures from work or the world outside. They had 2 sons, James and John. Their home was structured but filled with warmth. Joanne was more than just a mother. She was the emotional support for the family. She allowed Fred space to process his thoughts and challenged him when necessary. She accepted him as he was without trying to change him. People might think Fred Rogers was simple, just kind. However, those who knew him well, especially Joanne, understood he had deep concerns about others and about being enough. Joanne understood his complexities and accepted him fully, allowing him to be gentle and imperfect. Even as Fred became a well-known public figure, their marriage stayed strong. They didn't seek applause. They enjoyed mornings filled with music, the simple joys of laughter, and deep companionship in which they truly knew and loved each other. What they shared wasn't a fairy tale, which made it beautiful. the public persona versus the private man. When you think of Fred Rogers, you probably see a calm man in a soft cardigan, speaking to you soothingly. For many, he was a comforting presence in childhood, showing kindness and compassion. This image reflected the honest Fred, who practiced kindness daily. Joanne Rogers, his wife, noted that while Fred was genuinely kind, he was no saint. Like everyone else, he felt tired, stressed, and self-doubting. He kept routines, such as swimming every morning and weighing himself daily to stay at 143 pounds, a number that meant, "I love you." Fred felt the pressure of his public image. He wanted to meet the expectations of millions who admired him, which sometimes stressed him out. In their marriage, they faced challenges. Joanne often took on the role of disciplinarian with their sons, while Fred preferred gentleness. This balance wasn't always easy. Fred's substantial emotional investment in his work was both beautiful and tiring. Joanne supported him through the burdens he faced. His life included moments when he needed breaks and made mistakes, showing his humanity. Fred cared deeply for others, choosing patience and kindness. These actions shaped his legacy. Joanne shared insights into the awful truth behind Fred's calm demeanor, helping us understand who he was. The awful truth. When you hear awful truth, you may think of shocking scandals. However, Joanne Rogers shares a more personal story about her husband, Fred. Known for his warmth and kindness, Fred faced a tough battle with stomach cancer. Joanne saw a side of him that few knew, showing his emotional and spiritual struggles behind his public image. Fred experienced loneliness and doubt in his final days, surprising him and Joanne. They initially ignored his discomfort and indigestion, but later sought medical help and discovered the cancer was advanced. Despite the treatment challenges and the threat of time running out, Fred stayed focused on his loved ones. He even publicly appeared as the Grand Marshal of the Rose Parade shortly before he died. As Fred's caregiver, Joanne felt the heavy emotional strain of watching her steady partner face his illness. She shares these experiences to honor him and highlight the challenges in their relationship during that time. Fred kept his sense of humor in the face of adversity, showing his ability to find light in dark moments. Joanne's reflections remind us that Fred Rogers was not just a symbol of kindness, he was a man who faced pain and uncertainty like everyone else. Her insights reveal a powerful truth about Fred's authenticity and love, making his story meaningful even after his passing. Joanne Rogers' role in preserving and promoting Fred's legacy. When Fred Rogers died in 2003, many thought Joanne Rogers would grieve privately. Instead, she became a strong advocate for his message. As chair emerita of Fred Rogers Productions, she ensured Fred's work continued teaching children about feelings, friendship, and understanding. Joanne shared stories about Fred and promoted kindness at events and on TV. Her words spread Fred's lessons beyond the original neighborhood, highlighting the importance of helping children understand their emotions. In the 2019 movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Joanne made a memorable cameo, giving a glimpse into her life with Fred. She also participated in documentaries and interviews, allowing people to hear her experiences. In addition to supporting Fred's legacy, Joanne is a skilled concert pianist. She uses her passion for music to connect with others. Known for her humor and wise perspective, she complemented Fred's warmth, helping keep his spirit alive and meaningful. When Fred Rogers passed away in 2003, When Fred Rogers died in 2003, his messages continued to touch the world he cared for. One of the most important to him was a simple code, 143. If you asked Fred what love looked like, he might have said 143, which means I love you. One letter in I, 4 in love, and 3 in you. It was clear and meaningful. Fred didn't shout this message, he lived it. He didn't just talk about love, he practiced it every day. He even kept his weight at exactly 143 pounds for most of his adult life. It is rare to see someone base their life around a symbolic number like that. Fred was intentional with every word and every pause he took. Fred's legacy continued beyond his life. In 2019, Pennsylvania, his home state, honored him by declaring May 23rd as 143 Day. This day encourages people to do something kind, say something nice, and be good neighbors. Joanne, Fred's wife, passed away on January 14, 2021 at 92 in their home in Pittsburgh. She was surrounded by loved ones just like Fred,